everyone, and welcome back to the channel. For this video, it'll be a POV driving review of my 2009 Lexus ES350. I know I've kind of already done a video like this before, or one similar at least, but I thought I'd give you guys just a specific first-person point of view POV driving review. And it's been a while since you guys have seen the ES. We'll do a quick walk around and look at the inside, and then we'll get on with the drive. As you can see, this beautiful red color just looks great with the sun shining down on it. I apologize for all the wind noise. Inside is still relatively clean. We'll go ahead and start it up. Obviously, with the smart key access, all you do is put your foot on the brake and hit the engine start button. Currently sitting at 119,229 miles, so not a big difference from the last time you guys saw this car, but it's been a while since I've shown it to you guys, so I thought I'd just give you guys a POV drive specific review on the ES. And just because it's an awesome car, and I know you guys enjoy seeing it, and I enjoy making videos of it for sure. Looking at the back seat, it's still in such great condition. It literally looks brand new. It looks like nobody's even sat back here before. It's held up great over the years. And honestly, since I've had it, nobody really sits in the back seat all that often anyway. Interior still looks so good. And I really like how it looks with my upgraded infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and all that stuff. I think that really spices up the interior and makes an older interior look really good. And these back seats are just so comfortable. Lexus does such great seats. Every Lexus that I've ever been in, it's like, there's not a whole lot of cars out there that can beat their seats. Even on these older models, the interior quality is just so good. Such a high quality, luxurious interior, especially on a nearly 16-year-old vehicle. It's just beyond impressive. Sorry if the sun is kind of glary. I really need to quit doing these driving parts of these videos in the evening. It's 5:30, a little after 5:30 in the evening right now. Every time I drive this car, despite owning it for so long, every time I do get in it, especially since I don't drive it all that often anymore, since I have my RC as my daily driver, every time I get in this thing, it just impresses me every single time. It never fails to blow my mind on how good and how comfortable and just how awesome of a vehicle this is, especially given the age of the vehicle. Here comes a red, newer ES up here, or no, that's a GS. That's really nice. Love that. You don't see a whole lot of those around here. But yeah, this thing is just such a great car. And as I've mentioned before in my previous videos about this car, I keep it in a storage unit now, so it's still garage kept, and the RC stays at the house, obviously, because I daily drive that. And this just stays in a storage unit, and I try to drive it at least once a week. Sometimes I go a little longer, but I try to drive it as much as I can. And when I do, it's always awesome. I'm trying to preserve this thing as much as I can and taking advantage of the fact that I have another daily driver now, and I can just keep this in a storage unit and keep it looking as nice as possible, because it was well taken care of before I had it, and I have taken really great care of it over the last 8.5 years that I've had it. And like I've said many times, it's still in excellent condition. I also thought about, I don't know, I might do this for my next video, or if I have time later today, I'll just film it after this. So sometimes on YouTube, especially, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Miles Per Hour on YouTube, or the Topher, or any of the people like that that do specifically POV driving reviews. That's kind of where I got the idea to do a video like this, where it's literally just a POV drive review, just to see how I like doing it and how you guys liked it, because I like that style of video, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, so I really enjoy watching their videos, so I thought I'd give that a try with the ES. And I can do some with the other vehicles as well. So yeah, not really much has changed since the 8-year review. But yeah, this thing has been amazing. Such a great daily driver. Had it for 8.5 years. Got it with 80,000 miles, and now we're at 119,233. So I really haven't put that many miles on it for that span of time. But during the time that I have had it, it has never given me an issue at all. The only time it's had something done other than oil changes and routine maintenance is like an airbag recall and like stuff like that. And I really, really do love the Apple CarPlay. I need to get that in my RC. But what I was gonna mention was, I've also seen POV drive videos where they literally just film like an ASMR quote-unquote style video where they just drive around and not talk or anything like that. And sometimes, depending on the vehicle, that's actually a really fun thing to watch. So I thought about doing something like that too, and I might do that either after I'm done with this video or some other time. I don't know. But I thought that, and it'd be really easy to do, obviously, so thought about that. But yeah, these older Lexus models are beyond impressive and still ride and drive like they're brand new off the showroom floor. It's really amazing. And for the money, I mean, it's hard to beat this. If you're in the market for a vehicle like this, I definitely would search for one maybe with similar miles and around the same age, and I bet you can find them around 10 grand, maybe even a little less if you're lucky. But yeah, the value is great, and for the money you get a lot of car. Obviously this is the 5th generation ES, which came out for the 2007 model year and ran from 2007 to 2012 with a mid-cycle refresh for the 2010 model year, which brought pretty subtle changes. A little bit of exterior styling changes and a few upgrades to the interior, but not much different from the pre-refresh models at all. But yeah, I've always been a big fan of the ES models, I've always been a big fan of the Lexus ES vehicles. They're great cars. And also for an older vehicle, you do still have plenty of good stuff in here. You got, you know, memory seats, heated and cooled seats, and obviously these are really great value cars. So if you get one, especially the base models where it'd probably be less expensive, or the ones that already have infotainment systems, even though they're really old, you can always upgrade that like I did to this. When I first got this car, it didn't even have a screen at all. It just had buttons and, you know, the base model type deal. And I was fine with that because, like I said, I got an infotainment system like a year after I got the car, and then in January of last year, 2023, is when I got a newer infotainment system that had Apple CarPlay and all that good stuff. So that's definitely been one of the best things I've done to this. I've done so many good things to this car. Upgraded the wheels and put the underdash lights in and all that stuff. Really made it look nice. But yeah, if you can get your hands on one of these for 10 grand or less, and even if it already does have a screen, you know, the ones that they come with from factory are obviously very outdated now. So you could replace that and put one like I did, or if it doesn't have a screen at all, you could do the same thing like I said. And you're still, I mean, that will cost you, you know, maybe a couple $1,000s tops, and then you have a pretty up-to-date car and just a really good car overall. I also think the styling of this generation ES has aged extremely well too. It definitely is starting to look like an older vehicle now, but it is kind of refreshing to be in a Lexus that looks a little bit different than all the newer ones. Like, for example, you know, Lexus introduced the spindle grille design. Oh wow, okay, he just came flying right out there, hence why he has no bumper. But yeah, so Lexus introduced the, oh, that's sweet, look at that, that's awesome. But yeah, Lexus introduced the spindle grille design like, oh geez, I want to say like 11 or 12 years ago, maybe a little less. And all Lexus models since then have had the spindle grille design. So if you go back before, you know, that time, like this generation, you have the Lexuses that don't have the spindle grille design, which, I mean, it looks different obviously, but I'm not saying the spindle grille design is bad. I actually really, really like it, and I still like it even today. I think, you know, some people, it's one of those things where you either like it or you don't like it, and some people hate the spindle grille design, but I think it looks great personally. Ever since Lexus introduced that. It does look better on some cars than others though, I will say. But yeah, overall, the Lexus vehicles from this era have definitely aged extremely well, and the color on this specific ES is actually not very common at all, especially with the black interior. I believe the exterior color is called Matador Red Metallic, and for some odd reason on this generation ES, they just did not make very many in the red color. And when you do find them in the red color, most of them have just tan interior, which looks fine, but I definitely prefer the black interior over the tan. The tan looks great, but I think the black looks so much better, in my opinion. But yeah, they're awfully hard to find. If you look on like Auto Tempest or something like that, where it shows basically all the listings in the country, like, you won't see very many of them at all. So that is kind of cool to have more of a rare spec ES. And I don't know why there are so few of them, because it looks so good. Over the years, like I've said, I've only done routine maintenance and oil changes, which has been very, very, not cheap, but like very affordable. And yeah, especially now that these cars are a little older, they're very affordable and very reliable, obviously, too. So that makes for a really, really good car. Back when I first got this car, obviously, or for those of you that are new, this was my first car that I've ever had. I got it back when I was almost 15. I was 14 going on 15. So back in April of 2016, we got this car for $13,600. I think that was the exact number. So basically 14 grand back in 2016 when it had 80,000 miles. So fast forward to 2024, now has 119,000 miles, and it blue books for around 10,000. With my accessories that I've done, like the infotainment stuff, that might increase the value slightly, not really sure. But if I were to ever sell this car, I'd probably take all that stuff out anyway. So 10,000 or a little bit under, somewhere around there. So very good value, has not depreciated that much, and overall has held its value really, really good. So that's always nice. And yeah, just great value cars. The insurance is not that high anymore since it's an older vehicle. And if you live in a state like Kansas where you have to pay taxes every year, it's also way more affordable than it used to be. Like I said, you get a lot of car for the money, and a very reliable one too, and you don't have to worry about miles as much. The ES is powered by the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6 engine. In this generation ES, it puts out 272 horsepower and 254 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 is in the 6-second range. Gas mileage for the age of the vehicle is pretty decent. I usually get 19 or 20 in the city, and I've gotten as good as 30 on the highway. 30 or 31, something like that. I've really never taken it on a road trip other than like one time. So this thing is really only done in-town driving. So obviously for modern standards, that's not all that great, but for a 15-year-old vehicle with a naturally aspirated V6, the fuel economy is pretty good, I would say. And the range, I can't remember what exactly the range is, but on a full tank, I go quite a while before I need to fill up again. But yeah, overall, I've really enjoyed this thing, and it rides so nice on the highway. If I wasn't trying to preserve it so much, I would probably take it on more road trips just because of how comfy it is, but the RC is really comfortable as well. It's just, you really can't compare the RC 350 to this, because they're just such different cars. A lot of people say all Lexuses are the same, but that couldn't be further from the truth after owning the RC 350 for a year. That one's more sporty than I thought. And this vehicle, for example, rides way better than that one, which is to be expected. But that one also does ride really nice and still gives you that nice floaty luxurious Lexus ride and driving feel, and it's still a Lexus, but obviously a slightly more sporty one. So it's not gonna ride quite as nice as this. And I didn't think it'd be that way because of the age difference of the two, but I was wrong on that. It's really, really windy right now, so the wind noise is loud, and as you probably know, wind noise also is just louder on camera than it is in person. I've never really understood that, but that's just the way it is, and it's just really windy right now. But yeah, the engine is so quiet, transmission is buttery smooth, and this thing is just a really, really great car to drive. And despite being an older vehicle, the cabin is a really, really great place to spend time behind the wheel. And overall, I've absolutely loved this thing. I'll never sell it. And like I said, if you're in the market for an affordable used luxury vehicle, I would say this is your best option, especially if you're looking for a sedan specifically. I'd say this generation ES is by far the best option. I hope you guys enjoyed this POV driving review of my 2009 Lexus ES350. Let me know your thoughts on this style of video, and I will definitely do more. Thank you guys for watching.